I started doing work in science communication as a student at the University of Glasgow. At the time, there was very few science festivals around, and I just thought Glasgow absolutely should have one. So I pitched the idea to senior management at the University of Glasgow, and thankfully they agreed with me. That was in 2006, and then we had our very first ever Glasgow Science Festival in 2007. First year, we engaged with about 20,000 people. 2025, we engaged with 86,000 people. So if we add those last 19 years together, we've actually engaged with over 1 million participants. We've worked in hundreds of venues across the city, from the university campuses to community centres to castles. One of the nicest parts of the job for me, though, is just the amazing partners that we work with. Probably tens of thousands of students, staff and other volunteers delivering this huge programme of activity.
For me, what's exciting about the Science Festival is it's not just science, it's a mix of lots of different subjects. And a couple of projects spring to mind as highlights for me when I worked there. There was Chasing the Waves, which was bringing together gravitational wave physicists with artists, musicians, actors to create a musical comedy about astronomy. You maybe wouldn't put those together naturally, but it was so fun. And we had hundreds of kids come and learn about physics through comedy, which is something I'm really passionate about. We had another project called Imagineer, which brought together engineers and theatre students. And it was really interesting to have the theatre students and the engineers listen and learn from each other. And I think bringing disciplines together is kind of where research is going. And I think we need more of that.
We have what we call our festival activity days. This is one of my favourite formats. So we take over big scale venues, campuses at universities, museums, Glasgow Botanic Gardens. We bring together hundreds of activities, thousands of people. Always a favourite for me. One of my favourite projects over the years was one called Cleaner Canal Science. So we worked in partnership with Scottish Canals, and basically I hired a barge, kitted it out as a floating lab, and we worked around the canals of North Glasgow, running basically classrooms for local schools and local community groups. Absolutely brilliant project, which was so much fun to do. In terms of one standout event, there's definitely a wee favourite of mine. So we do quite a lot of work around events linked to food and drink. And again, it's this idea of you're not just about education, you're about a cultural offering. So you're trying to run activities which appeal to a broad range of different audiences. We had an event which was the science of fizzy wine, and I was in charge of measures that night. I was maybe a little bit too liberal with some of the measures. I think we scienced a little bit too hard that night, but it was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed that event. And I think from the feedback, everybody else did too.
I think there's still this perception by some people that science isn't for them. It's too difficult, it's not accessible, it's boring. But when you bring some creativity into it and you go to interesting places and you mix up different subjects, then you can, I think, persuade people that actually science is for everybody. And I think the Glasgow Science Festival does that incredibly well.
Creating the Science Festival felt like a real opportunity to do something positive for the city. I'm Glaswegian, love my city. I think we're all made quite aware of some of the issues that we have in the city. So for example, around things like health outcomes. What the Science Festival gave me an opportunity to do was something quite positive, to maybe share the narrative around some of the amazing work we're doing to actually tackle some of those issues. When I started out in 2007, I could never have imagined we would still be here 20 years later. So, huge thanks to everybody who's been involved in supporting the festival, attending the festival, giving me your time and your expertise. Special thanks from me to my dad, Tony, who's been at nearly as many events as I have. So thanks to everyone.